Imagine being in love with someone for 2 years. You follow her for a long time and ask her out constantly, but she continues to reject you. Well, accepting the fact that you are not good enough, you start to move on. But then your crush starts to crave your attention. Is it true that girls get attracted to boys who ignore them and don't give them attention? Well, let us follow a certain high school kid and find out. The anime opens in a school where we see a boy consistently following a girl named Aika Natsukawa and asking her to walk together with him. Aika is rude to him and tells him that he is annoyed, but the boy doesn't care and continues to follow her. A football comes flying towards him and he introduces himself. He is Wataru Sajo, a male high school student. He is like a stalker guy who we see on every campus, and he is madly in love with Aika. But Aika doesn't want Sajo to follow her, so she asks Sajo to not stalk her anymore. Sajo agrees, and Aika walks away. Sajo enters his classroom, and Aika's friend thinks Sajo is acting different. She asks Sajo if he is okay. Sajo tells her that he is fine. Their teacher enters the classroom, and she is also surprised by how Sajo isn't following around Aika today. When Sajo is walking outside, Aika reminds him not to stalk her anymore. Sajo tells her that he is just going to the washroom and acts cold. His friends ask him if something is wrong, but Sajo tells them that everything is fine. Well, everyone finds it weird how cold Sajo is pretending to be because he is madly in love with Aika and is the kind of guy who would do anything for her. He returns to his class, and Aika calls him with a low voice. Sajo asks if she called him, and Aika denies it. She asks Sajo where he was going. Sajo was going to the cafeteria to have his meal. Everyone is surprised because he would always force Aika to eat with him, whereas he didn't even ask her today. Sajo eats his lunch outside, and a girl named Rinan Aizawa approaches him. She talks with Sajo for some time and walks away. Sajo goes to his class and learns that Rinan came there to talk with him. Sajo becomes very confused, and his friend asks if he started liking Rinan. Sajo makes it clear that Aika will be the only crush in his life. Soon, Aika enters the class, and she looks very annoyed. Sajo looks at her, but she ignores him. Sajo was drinking water, and a girl named Kei Ashida, best friend of Aika, tells Sajo that Rinan already has a boyfriend in the second year. She made a boyfriend when she was in middle school, and her boyfriend was in the first year back then. Sajo looks a bit off, and Kei asks him if he is concerned about Rinan. Sajo wants to ask something to Kei and Aika, but Rinan interrupts. Kei asks Rinan why she broke up with her ex-boyfriend, but Rinan doesn't reveal anything. Kei then continues talking badly about Rinan's ex, and Rinan gets mad at Kei. She walks out angry, saying they had no right to talk about her ex. Sajo goes outside and apologizes on their behalf. Rinan asks him why he loves Aika so much. When Sajo was in middle school, he liked a girl and confessed his love to her. She insulted him a lot, and her boyfriend punched him in his face. She was very rude to him. When he met Aika, she was very nice to him, and Sajo liked that. So, he fell for Aika. Rinan reveals that she heard her ex-boyfriend saying he liked someone else, so she broke up with him and is now trying to make him jealous. Kei and Aika see Rinan with her boyfriend. She patched up with him. They meet Sajo in class and notice he is off again. Well, Sajo wants to end things with Aika because he got rejected so many times, and all his friends are shocked. Aika meets Sajo in his home and asks him why he was being so cold recently. Well, Sajo thinks it is time for him to move on from her. Sajo tells her that he will stop following her from tomorrow, and Aika becomes sad. Aika and Sajo were sitting separately, and Aika was all alone. Kei blames Sajo for this. Since he followed Aika so much, she never got time to make other friends, and he should take responsibility. Sajo doesn't want to directly approach her anymore but decides to support her from afar. Sajo notices how Aika has no friends except Kei. He wonders if Aika will be fine. Soon, the president of the school committee for morals and discipline, Miss Shinomiya, approaches him and asks him if he bumped into her junior, Yu and Atami, the other day. Well, he apologizes and tries to leave. Shinomiya stops him and asks for his help. Her juniors are very hardworking, but they lack confidence, and she doesn't know how she can solve that. Sajo thinks it's natural for her juniors to be nervous after seeing a highly confident president like Shinomiya. She becomes flattered and tells Sajo to not praise her anymore. Well, Sajo suggests to her to tell them how great they are doing and motivate them to do the same. She can also sympathize with them, which will increase their confidence. He then walks out, and Shinomiya asks him his name. Sajo lies about his name and tells her that he is Yamazaki for some reason and walks away. Sajo is with his sister and ready to go to school together with her. His sister asks him if he has talked with the girl he brought home the other day. She was talking about Aika. Sajo tells her that he talks with her casually like classmates. His sister thinks he should talk with her more properly, and soon, Aika passes by. Sajo goes near her and wishes her a good morning. She wants to ask something to Sajo, but she holds back. Anyway, Sajo goes to school only to discover that Shinomiya came to his class searching for him because he gave the wrong name. She meets Sajo and asks him to meet her in the students' council room later during lunch break. Sajo agrees, and his friend Yumezaki comes from behind and hits Sajo. He actually liked Shinomiya, and when she came searching for Sajo, she talked with Yumezaki. Anyway, Kei comes near Sajo and asks how he knows the president of the students' council. Sajo tells her that it is a long story. He meets Shinomiya during the break and brings food for her. He only brought food enough for 2 people, but Yu was also there. He didn't know this, so he gives Yu a chocolate, but Yu doesn't take it. Sajo gives the chocolate to Shinomiya. Shinomiya asks Sajo why he gave her the wrong name. Sajo didn't want the head of the students' council to know his name, so he gave his friend's name. Shinomiya understands but tells Sajo that it isn't good to get your friend in trouble. Sajo tells Shinomiya that his friend liked it when she visited him, but Shinomiya becomes confused as one person wants to avoid her and another person wants to give his name to her. Sajo tells her that Yu knows the reason. Yu becomes shy and tells her that she is beautiful and that might be the reason. Yu is very insecure when it comes to men and apologizes to Sajo because she didn't act right when Sajo stumbled with her. Sajo tells her that she is great and walks away. He notices how Aika was making new friends and becomes happy. His sister messages him to help with some work, so he helps her and returns home. The next day, Aika's friend decides to come over to her home, but Sajo decides not to go. Aika becomes sad and asks Sajo if he really won't come. Before Sajo could answer, Shinomiya interrupts and takes Sajo with her. She asks Sajo what he really thinks about Yu, where Sajo tells her that he is disappointed in Yu. She wasn't apologizing for Sajo, she was apologizing for herself because she didn't like herself, and she felt guilty for not acting right. Shinomiya really likes how Sajo can know people with a single interaction. Well, it is Sajo's talent, I guess. We see Aika's friend in her home, but Sajo wasn't there, which made Aika a little bit sad. Sajo comes to the classroom, and Kei approaches him. Sajo tells her not to get near him with that scanty clothing. She was wearing a summer uniform. Kei tells Sajo that he should watch Aika in her summer uniform. Well, Sajo knows he cannot resist Aika's cuteness if he watches her in short clothes, so he passes on that offer. Their teacher arrives, so they get to their seats. Sajo's friend asks Sajo why he didn't come to Aika's place. Sajo simply replies by saying he wasn't invited and sees some pictures of the party. He sees his friend taking pictures with Aika's little sister and saves them. He forwards the pictures to Yuki, his friend's sister, because she asked Sajo to report on her big brother. Sajo is having lunch alone, and his friend Yumezaki invites him to have lunch together with his group. Sajo also agrees and talks with some girls while having lunch. Those girls ask Sajo if he is going out with Aika or not, where Sajo makes it clear that they are just classmates. Aika comes there and takes Sajo away. She looked very angry, and Sajo doesn't understand why. Aika tells him that he was talking with those girls, so she was angry, but it isn't what he thinks. She is jealous but doesn't want to let her emotions slip, so she walks out in anger. Sajo is sitting in his classroom, and someone from the students' council comes to meet him. He takes Sajo to a room and asks about his big sis. His big sis was also an important member of the students' council, and she has been a little sad lately. The guy asks Sajo why he has changed so much recently and why he stopped following the girl he had a crush on for so many years. Sajo doesn't want to answer that question. The guy tells him that his big sister is worried because he is so different. She thinks she is the one to blame for his sadness because she never gave special attention to him or respected him. Sajo tells him that his big sis is usually like that, and it is normal, but the guy insists that she is sad, and he wants Sajo to talk to her. He takes Sajo to the rooftop where he meets his big sis. She was waiting for her friend, but her friend would not come there. She wanted to talk to Sajo, but she was ashamed, so she was set up by her friends. Sajo asks his big sis any 10 good things about him, and she cannot answer. Sajo then asks for 10 ordinary traits about him, and she gives him more than 10 points. Sajo is an ordinary boy, and he will remain that way. He thinks his big sis fits the role of being a rude sister instead of a kind sister. Aika was overhearing this and comes there. She asks Sajo to apologize to his big sis as she was being kind, and Sajo didn't appreciate it. He asks Aika why she was there. Was she following him? Aika gets embarrassed and runs away. While returning home, he thinks about Aika, who was so weird today. He wonders what she feels about him. He brings his big sis her favorite food and clicks her picture while she is eating it to embarrass her. Well, that is it for now. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe and have a good day. Bye.